Hello, sinners. It is I, Father Evil, and I invite you to Destination Station on YouTube.
Bagels and go to Destination Station. This buddy is the bomb. Love him.
Yep.
Fucking A.
Yep.
I had to say that for a reason.
Freddie, take that, motherfucker.
All right. Okay. Fuck you. Yeah.
Jamie Kennedy. Subscribe to my man, Destination Station, right now if you want the best content.
What's up? Welcome to Destination Station. Welcome to the first episode of our very own podcast called The Horror Hooligans. And tonight's episode is the horror movies that shaped us. This is the kickoff of this whole entire series. You can also watch these in replay mode here on my channel. We'll also have a podcast tab also on the channel. But to get every single episode, we will be rotating episodes on both and my guest channel tonight, and I will be a guest on his channel Wednesday night. Every Monday, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central, you can get double dose of the Horror Hooligans podcast. So subscribe to me, and also subscribe to my good friend. I shot him 6 times. His link is in the description of this video. So episode 1 on my channel, episode 2 over on his, and then next Monday will be episode 3, 4. You get the drift. Check it out. If you ever try to get lost or anything like that, and you miss an episode, you will have it right here on both of our channels. So every episode will be on replay mode on both of our channels if you miss an episode or you didn't catch a live or something like that. But we're just glad to have the support from y'all and showing up for this. But we are going to get into the first episode called The Horror Movies That Shaped Us. And this episode is something near and dear to my heart. And what it is, it's not really like the top 5 horror movies of all time, because that's a whole nother list, a whole nother episode in itself. This is the list, the top 5 movies that shaped you as a horror film fanatic. I think about this all the time. When did I get into horror? What shaped me into the horror fan that I am to today? How young were you? Because I was a very young age. I think I was like 5 years old whenever I got introduced to horror, and we're going to talk about that today. So I want you to think about what are the top 5 horror movies that shaped you, that really like the gateway horror into what brought you into the horror community and becoming a horror fan yourself. I really want to hear your thoughts and your movies in the comment section. We will be going through the comment section, but I'm going to go ahead and bring on. He's a horror hooligan of himself. He's my guest. He's my brother from another mother. He's no stranger of the channel. Again, episode 2 will be over on his channel, so you better go subscribe to him right now down in the description below, so you don't miss an episode for Wednesday's show, because that's gonna be a sweet one. So, what's up, Marcus? I felt like I was babbling there for a minute.
Oh, you're good, brother. Shit, you're just getting through the intro. You know what I mean? It's the first episode. I'm super excited that we are finally getting to this passion project that we have had planned for a couple years now. And this is going to be a lot of fun. And I think this is a great topic that you picked for the first episode, talking about the 5 horror movies that shaped us, because just like yourself, I think about this sometimes as well. And I think both of us are going to have a really good list.
Man, I'm excited to see your list. And that's the thing about it, everybody, is that I don't know his list and he doesn't know my list. So we're going to start from 5 and go all the way to 1. And we're going to see we're going to get to know each other a little bit more as horror film fanatics and friends, right?
That's right.
So, and I want to hear everybody else in the comment section too. So thank you everybody that has been patient for us. And this has been a passion project, like you said, for a while now. And we're glad to be able to launch this. And this is also to show shine on other horror movies that we don't typically talk about, because they get kind of overshadowed by like Scream and Halloween and everything in between. Between both of our channels, we cover the hell out of that stuff.
Yeah.
So this is our place to really talk about those movies that are just hidden gems and movies that are just like really close to the heart, so man, I'm excited about this. I mean, we've been talking about this for what, over a year, maybe 2 years?
Going on like 2 years.
Yeah, man. So some of the community, they know about it. They've heard us dabble about it and everything over the years. Wow, I am really behind on the chat, so I'm gonna rush over this. I don't know how long we're gonna go tonight. We'll probably go for about an hour and 30 at the most, depending on how long it takes to get through our list. But I will be trying to keep up with the chat. But if I don't see your comment, I am sorry. But I will try to find it, because I want to skip through and see what everybody's list is. So please put in the comment section of mainly of like what this topic is, the top 5 horror movies that shaped us. Or if you don't even have top 5, just put 1 or 2, whatever you can think of. Way back when you was just a young knee-high to a grasshopper, and what was the horror movies that really like brought you into it? And a lot of people throw around the term gateway horror, and I don't mean like Ghostbusters or something like that, which that could be sometimes. But a lot of times when people say gateway horror, they think it's light horror. It doesn't necessarily have to be that, because I think I was exposed to hardcore horror at a young age. So, horror. Not that I'm saying I was supposed to be watching it at that age, but that's what shaped me.
Yes.
But let me get through some of this comment section here. Let's see. King says, hey guys, how are you doing tonight? I'm dealing with a really bad migraine right now, but I'm hyped for the first episode. Oh man, take some Excedrin extra strength or migraine, man. That stuff works wonders. I get headaches too.
Yes.
With like this Texas heat. Oh my goodness. Hope you get feeling better, buddy. Ah, I can't talk. Paula, what's up? Good to see you. We got Dama Lama Ding Dong in the house. What's up? Horror Queen's in the house. Good to see you, Horror Queen. Go DJ. That's my DJ. DJ already beat us to the punch. And Dom beat me to the punch for that too. Hey DJ. That's my DJ. You need to trademark your jingle, Dom. Hell yeah. Nice.
That's funny.
Do it. I got to get that clip of Ben Stiller and Starsky and Hutch going, do it.
Right?
Do it. I love that movie. The movie's fun. Let's see here. I'm going to skip over a little bit. I see y'all are talking amongst yourselves. Good to see y'all are having a good conversation. You sloth me chunk, as Destin would say. Hey, you guys. Hell yeah. Watch Val trademarks. Hey, you guys, at the beginning of the intro of their park. Hey, that's a good idea.
That'd be great.
We might actually consider that, buddy.
Hell yeah. Now I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, Val.
Hey, you guys.
We got to have DJ and a mixtape on it.
Yeah, right.
he's got to create the beat. Nice. Okay. Let me see here. I'm gonna skip over just a little bit because I know I'm behind. Yes, thank you, Val, for that. Here's the link for Wednesday's Night Horror Hooligans podcast on Marcus's channel. Yes. To catch the very next episode 2, you have to go subscribe over Marcus's channel. We're going to be rotating channels. Episode 1, episode 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So you got to be subscribed to both of our channels to catch every episode.
Just lifted the embargo on episode 2 before we came on live. So that was a smart move.
Exactly. It's up. Go hit the notify me button, and we will see you Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, sir.
Dom says this is the original podcast and going to be a very fun one. Thanks, Dom. I hope y'all do enjoy this because we're going to have some really unique topics to be talking about going forward.
Yes.
Kiss Hooligan song. Oh, yes. I need to listen to that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yes, please make sure you smash that like button. I really appreciate it. Stab it, kick it, grenade launcher it. I don't know. Whatever you got, just don't break your computer because you need
elbow drop Ric Flair. Woo! That son of a bitch.
That never gets old.
Never gets old.
I forget about it until you do it, and I'm like, damn. Nice. King Matthew says, my number 5 pick for the horror films that shaped me was Nightmare on Elm Street 1. I think I was 6 when I first watched the movie. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a really good one. I am a Fred head. Nightmare on Elm Street is my jam. It might show up later on this episode. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think my list is going to go the way that everybody else thinks it's going to go. But we'll see. You might know me better than I know myself. Okay. I'm going to let y'all put all your comments down below, and we're going to get into our top 5. I'm going to start with my 5th one, why it is, and then you go with 5, and then I go 4, and then we go all the way back down to 1. Sound good?
Sound great to me, man.
All right. So, for the horror films that really shaped me, and I really wanted to say that because, The Shape, Michael Myers, and all that kind of stuff, I think it's fitting.
It's like a glow.
This is going to probably shock some, but I had to put this in really the 5th spot because it is. I started really thinking about it, and what really stuck with me as a child and really kind of made my heart turn a little horror was the Monster Squad. The Monster Squad. I love this movie. Have you ever seen the Monster Squad?
No. So I'm pleasantly shocked by this selection. I've never heard of it.
I knew it. I'm twisting everybody's brain right now. The Monster Squad was like the horror version of the Goonies. It was like a group of kids. You had Dracula, you had Werewolf, you had Frankenstein, you had Creature from the Black Lagoon, you had the Mummy, and it's about a group of kids in this town that are horror fans. They're all a bunch of horror fans, but then one day, Dracula drops into town with all the other big Universal monsters, and they kind of come together. And they stay in this really creepy man. It's got really great set design. It's a great acting. I mean, it's not the best acting. It's not. I wouldn't say it's Goonies level, but it's up there. It's so much fun. The pacing's fun. It gets violent in some areas for it to be a PG-13 little horror movie. It is like a comedy horror, slightly family movie. It's fun. It's adventurous, kind of like in the vein of Goonies, just with a little bit of horror twist to it. And if you ever heard that term, Wolfman's got nards.
Okay.
That's where it's from. It's from that movie.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've always wondered where, I hope I'm saying, is it Bobby from, his channel? I've always wondered where he got that channel name from, because I know in the intro you hear it, Wolfman's got nards. And stuff. I'm always like, where the fuck is that from? I've never heard that.
Dude, if we got to add it to the watch parties, to the Woodsboro Cinema Club or something. The Monster Squad is such a fun watch, man. I own it, and I introduced it to my kids, and
Nice.
They loved it. It was a good watch. Everybody really enjoyed it. It even holds up to today. And yes, there's a scene in there because there's this little gag throughout the movie of does the Wolfman have nards or doesn't have nards? And then he gets kicked in the nards, and he's like, oh, Wolfman does have nards. It's just funny like that, man. Like you got one kid that he gets picked on by some of the bully kids in the town, and then he has a little arc, and they even do homages to Frankenstein with the little girl by the lake and stuff like that. She befriends Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster, I get, if you will. They do something like that, but they kind of do twists on everything a little bit, and it's really fun because they have this big showdown between the kids and all the monsters in the town square at the end, and it's just fun. It is a really fun movie. And my mom always said, yes, you can rent that one. So I was like, all right. So I watched it a lot whenever I was a kid.
Nice.
It's a very more lighthearted. That really is probably, I would say, gateway horror because it is on the lighter side. It's not the reason why I put it on number 5, but it now that I'm thinking about it, that is more in the vein of gateway horror, of like Gremlins or Little Monsters or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's my number 5, The Monster Squad, and I want to hear, has anyone seen that movie in the comment section?
Nice, man. You got me wanting to watch this.
We're going to. Oh, we're going to watch. I didn't know you've never seen it.
No, never even heard of it, bro. Like, I just heard the line, from Bobby's channel. Wolfman's got nards, and I'm like, where the fuck is that from? Like, I've battled with that for years. Like, where does that line come from? And I should have just asked him, but I'm just like, I don't want to be weird, I guess. You know what I mean? And stuff. I should have looked it up on Google, but just never got around to it. But I'm kind of glad that now I know where it comes from because I want to watch the movie now.
Yeah, dude. I think you'll like it a lot. I think it'd be a really good watch party. And another thing, the poster's really cool too. If you even like Google it or something. I saw someone do like some fan art, and it said The Monster Squad 2, and it had Freddy and Jason and Michael and Chucky or Leatherface on it or something. I'm like, nice. That's a movie I want to see. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
What? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then a lot of people, whenever they started that dark universe, when they did The Mummy with Tom Cruise.
Yes.
A lot of people were speculating, like, is it going to build into the Monster Squad? That would be a really cool idea, to have all those Universal Monsters standalone movies, and then it build into a new Monster Squad, which I want that more than ever now.
Man, I think you're onto something with that, because I watched that Tom Cruise Mummy, and it ain't the Brendan Fraser ones, but it was okay, you know what I mean? But I can see where you would think that would lead into something like another Monster Squad movie, because the Mummy is a part of that too. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. So, man, that would be sick if they did do something that followed up to it.
And they had a whole like lineup of like, I think they had like Johnny Depp lined up to be the Invisible Man. Yeah, they have Javier Bardem to play maybe Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster. I can't remember.
Wow.
Like, yeah, they had a whole list of like people that were going to be like big stars that were going to do this, but because of the reception of Tom Cruise's The Mummy, they just scrapped it. And I was hoping that Lee Winnell's Wolfman was going to re-kick that up. Right. That would be cool. I wish they tried again. Just do it more darker. Don't make it a Tom Cruise movie.
I just saw the post art you were talking about. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, you got to check it out, man. Yeah,
I like that a lot. That's a tight thumbnail, as we say nowadays.
Yeah. Nice. So, what's your number 5, Marcus?
My number 5 is none other than Maniac Cop, and you have heard me talk about this bad boy for a while. I know that you haven't seen it, and that's something else we got to throw in the watch parties. But Maniac Cop was one of the first horror movies that I ever watched, and I fell in love with it because of the ambiance, the whole idea of somebody who is supposed to protect us all, being a law enforcement official, is a killer. I also like the fact that the weapon of choice isn't just a service gun. He also has, I will spoil this, he has a nice blade that he keeps in like a nightstick like capsule. It's not a nightstick, it's a blade. Sick. But the ambiance of the movie, the score of the movie, bro, like so eerie, like, oh man, I can't even describe it. You will have to listen to it. But like the whole atmosphere, the New York setting, everything, and the cast, Bruce Campbell, you had Richard Roundtree, the original Shaft. You know what I mean? Robert Lazar, who played the main character, the cop, and stuff. But what I love about this movie is, though the cop is a killer, There's a reason. There's a great backstory as to why he is doing what he is doing and stuff. And as a kid, this movie terrified me, because again, this was, you look at it, it's supposed to be a cop, somebody's supposed to protect you, who's supposed to protect you from something fearful. But instead, he's the one creating the fear. You know what I mean? And stuff. But there's a conundrum of elements and backstory that really hooks you in to kind of, in a way, feeling sympathetic for him to a degree and stuff. And I really love how they placed everything together. They actually have 3 movies in this entire franchise. And I thought they have 3 total movies. And I thought all of them were really, really solid. But Maniac Cop, the first one, man, the ambiance, the score, everything about this movie. I remember being a kid and just being like, oh my God, this is so fucking creepy. You know what I mean? And stuff like, it's scary. You know what I mean? Like, it's more along the horror action side, so to speak. Okay. But as a kid, you're just like, holy shit, like, this is actually kind of scary here. You know what I mean? And stuff. Like, bro, it was, as a kid, I was shook at that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But it's a really good time. The atmosphere of the movie, the setting of the movie, classic New York setting, the score, I personally think is one of the best scores in horror movie history. Does not get enough attention and stuff. I love those. I will say this. What I love is how the opening of the movie starts out and you just see him walking down the street at night and he's basically swinging his baton / blade or whatever. And he's just swinging it, patting it in his hand and stuff like that. It's fucking gorgeous. You get this shot of him underneath a bridge. Like, bro, everything they did, cinematography, the score, the guy who played the cop, Robert Jazar, God rest his soul. You talk about intimidating. Now, that was an intimidating presence for you and stuff. Super intimidating. But the cast, everything, bro, like, about this movie, still to this day, holds dear to my heart. Like, I love this movie. I love the other 2 movies that it spawned. And if you have not seen Maniac Cop, I am planning on doing a live watch party for this down the road on my channel. But if you guys want to see it, before we do that live watch party, I encourage you to definitely watch Maniac Cop. You got noticeable actors, like I said, Bruce Campbell, Richard Roundtree, hell, Robert Davies. Robert Davies as well is in this. In the second one, they have Leo Rossi from Halloween 2.
Oh.
Play Bud. Like, bro, this whole entire Maniac Cop franchise has had some really, really solid castings. Like in the third one, Robert Forster played him. You know what I mean? And stuff like they've always done a great job with having a great cast and a great story to tell for this character. And in my opinion, he is truly one of the most underrated, scary horror villains of all time.
Man, I have always been really wanting to see it. I remember seeing it at Blockbuster at all the video stores that I used to attend or walk through, and I'd see it, and I saw that there was a few sequels, but for some reason I never picked it up. But I was always curious, always like, man, I just always veered. I'd see it, and then I'd see Freddy or something or Halloween.
Right.
It's like, well, this wins because I'm in the mood for one of these.
Right.
It's like, what you're going to get with that. Maniac Cop always seemed gnarly, like the look of the face of Maniac Cop on one of the cover. I can't remember which cover I'm thinking of, but I remember one looked gnarly. And now that I'm thinking about it, we did the watch party for In the Mouth of Madness not too long ago.
Yep.
And that scene where that cop is like in the alley and the face gets all like mutilated looking, and then he's sitting there. It kind of reminded me of that from the vision of what I got off that, off the VHS that I used to look
Might have
at.
been looking at the one for number 3. I can't remember if 2 had, because he was a little bit more deformed in 2, but 3 is when he was really like deformed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he's not like that all the way through.
No.
Okay. Yeah, man, great pick. You've been talking about it for a while now, man. I need to check this movie out.
Yeah, I got to put you on, bro. Just like we did with Children of the Corn. It's you know, it's definitely on the watch party list for sure.
Yeah, you got DJ saying Children of the Corn, 1984, Nightmare on Elm Street, the OG, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, Pet Sematary, and The Exorcist are all, man, those are great choices. Those are some of the best, honestly.
Yeah.
Wow. And I just saw Children of the Corn 1884. I see what you did there. I know what you did. I didn't read it at first right. I didn't see it first, but yeah, great picks, man. Great picks. Stella G says, my top 5 is Dracula Meets the Wolfman. My first horror movie, thanks to my grandpa. Oh, that's nice. That's it's always good to, like, you know, it means something. Like there's movies that I saw with my grandparents that that like are just special to me because it's nostalgic, because I remember watching it over at their house. Carrie, that's a good one.
Yes.
I'm assuming the original. Halloween, The Shining, and The Exorcist. Saw them all before I was 10 years old. Oh, you're naughty. You're not supposed to see that. I'm kidding. I did too. I've never seen Dracula Meets the Wolfman, though. That's interesting. I have to check those out. There's a lot of those old Universal monster movies. I own them, but I've never sat and watched them. I just collected them. So, yeah. Carrie's great. Halloween. All of these are great. Great choices. What's up, Patrol? Welcome to the party. Popcorn, yellow stripe, smile. Cool. Hell yeah. I got some popcorn over here right now. DJ says next movie watch party. Paula, I saw it once, or at least part of it, when I was a kid, but I don't remember how it ended. I'm thinking she's saying Monster Squad, possibly. Let's see here. Yeah, Paula, definitely possibility. Oliver's in the house. What's up, buddy? Walks in with a Ghostface mask, hopes to blend in, and no one notices. Well, you kind of did that. You snuck up on me. How dare you? All right. I have not seen the Monster Squad. Wow. Never seen it. Never seen that movie. Wow. King Matthew also hasn't seen Maniac Cop, so we definitely got to add those to the watch.
Yeah, bro. Man. We definitely got to add them.
Yeah. These movies will fill up the wheel fast with many who have never seen them. Yeah, right? We got Denisha in the house. Nice. We got Bearded Entertainment. Good to see you, buddy.
What's up, buddy?
I won. Tickle. Break the pickle. Tickle. He knows what I'm talking about. Yes, you look like Michael Jackson.
Oh, man.
Hell yeah. All right. Good times. Okay. On to our number 4 pick. My number 4 movie. And this is where, I like really had to think about it. And not only was this one of my first movies that I ever experienced at a young age, but it's also still one of my favorite horror movies of all time. And for many good reasons. And that is going to be Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 is another kind of horror comedy as well. There is like some really like freaky imagery and stuff that goes on, but it's a little bit more bonkers than the first movie. It takes itself a little less seriously, but it also seems like it has a higher budget a little bit, you know? And it's almost like a loose remake of the first one too. If you've never seen Evil Dead 1 or 2, the originals. I did like Evil Dead. I just something about Evil Dead 2. I think it just got me at the right time. Ash becoming an icon. I just liked his attitude in the movie. The lady in the cellar, you know, like that always freaked me out. You know, she's like overweight and gross looking. I just remember that, him being stuck down there when they threw him down there and locked him down there in the cellar. That traumatized me, seeing that at a young age. Her coming up and he's stuck down there. I remember that putting fear into me. That was like it just did something to me. But then over time, it just that horror seed grew, and I loved it. And then on top of it, when he, there's like little Easter eggs of like Freddy's glove and stuff like that in the shack. Whenever he's going out there and he's getting his chainsaw together and stuff. And it's just really cool stuff like that. So anytime that I see like Easter eggs of my favorite icons, I'm a sucker for that. Am I biased? Hell yeah, I am. But it's just it just did something to me. Like the movie was hitting all the right notes, and then you have something special like that. I think Sam Raimi was like finally. That was the movie that he really figured out his style and unique of camera movement and filmmaking, and he still uses it to today. He just does that very crazy pan-in shots and real fast pace, really fast editing, and just it's like the movie just never slows down. And man, Evil Dead 2 is one of those movies that I could watch over and over and over. It's just I remember it also being on like TNT or like one of those late night. It was always like on replay mode or something, kind of like the Friday the 13th movies whenever I was younger. So I had easy access to watch it regularly, and I did. I resonate that movie with Halloween, the season, not the movie, but you know what I mean. So it's like one of those movies like I always want to watch around Halloween because that's what I used to do whenever I was younger. So yeah, my number 4 spot is Evil Dead 2.
Good choice. I'll be completely honest. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm more like I like the newer age Evil Dead films, but I understand why Evil Dead 2 is your 4th pick, because for me, I think Evil Dead 2 is better than the first one because of the creativity that movie showed with kind of telling the same story but tweaking it to a degree. I did enjoy that aspect of it. Yeah.
I think that like if I would have like experienced it later on, it would have been like, man, this maybe didn't age well or something, But it's just one of those nostalgic movies for me.
Absolutely.
That it just doesn't. It's just. It's just one of those movies that really did shape me into the horror fan that I am.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah.
But I am a big fan of those remakes too, of the newer Evil Dead movies.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so my number 4 pick is none other, in my opinion, than the greatest wolf movie I've ever seen, Silver Bullet.
Ooh, great.
Yes. Bro, Silver fucking Bullet. I absolutely love this movie. I can watch this movie any given time during the day. I absolutely love it. I love the cast, Corey Haim, Everett McGill, Megan Follows, Gary Busey. I love the setting of the little small town that they're in Tarker's Mills. It definitely captures the ambiance of what you want a Wolfman type of movie to look like. Mm-hmm. Very dark, very ambiotic, very atmospheric and stuff like that. But what I loved about it as well, and because I'm an uncle, I love Gary Busey's performance as Uncle Red in that movie. Like, that stands out to me, you know what I mean, and stuff, because some of the ways he treated, his niece and nephew in that movie, especially Marty, with how he basically kind of looked at him as like a son. That's how I look at my sister's kids and stuff. So that still resonates with me to this day. But as a kid, what really stood out to me about this movie was the storytelling. I loved the narration. I forget who was the narrator as Grown Jane, but I thought that she did a fantastic job, and it made that movie stand out because you never really had horror movies that had consistent narration throughout. You know what I mean? And you had that for the most part through at least half of that movie. You know what I mean? You had that solid narration, telling the story, telling certain aspects of the characters, so on and so forth. And then Corey Haim, man, I mean, just like Corey Feldman, that was my childhood. You know what I mean? Like, you see like kids like him playing in these type of horror movies, and it inspires you to want to watch, and stuff. So I love the whole look of the wolf. To me, the Wolf Man in that movie has been one of the most realistic looking Wolfmen we have ever seen in cinema. Like, the way they built that was really a job well done. Like, especially when he's transforming, and I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen this movie, but when he's transforming, that is some of the best visual effects in the 80s I feel like you will ever see. Like, because we know this, Destin, in the 80s, it wasn't as advanced back then. You know what I mean?
Right.
A prime example of that is like the Evil Dead movies and stuff. Some of their makeup you could tell was makeup. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in Silver Bullet, man, I don't know how they did it, but they did a fantastic job with the transformation of the wolf back into the human, so on and so forth. One of the most realist looking fucking Wolfmans I've ever seen, and he's terrifying, man. Like, you know, one particular scene I will say that still haunts me to this day is the fog scene. Bro, that scene in the fog when all the old heads go to hunt down, you know, this beast that is, well, they think it's a serial killer.
Yeah.
But they go to hunt down what they don't know to be a wolf man. And they all go, you know, all the town folks go, and then they end up in this patch of fog. And all you hear is, and they're like, is it behind us? And the dude's like, it's right underneath us. Start backing up, Andy. Real slow. And then pong, he gets got. Like, just moments like that in that movie. Like, man, just even talking about it, I'm getting fucking excited and I want to watch it. Like, they did such a good job with everything in that movie, especially capturing the spirit of what a Wolfman type of character is supposed to be. So, if you guys have never seen Silver Bullet, I encourage you to watch it. There is a watch party on my watch party list on the channel. Me and Katie from Poppin' the Popcorn actually did a watch party for that movie about 2 years ago. Maybe it's not impossible that we might do a rewatch, but I implore you, if you have never seen Silver Bullet, watch that movie. To me, it's the greatest wolf movie of all time.
Man, that's a great one, man, because I need to rewatch that movie. I remember liking it whenever I was a kid.
Bro.
I remember really liking it, and I'm a big fan of Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. Like, that's part of my childhood. Like, even their comedy and family movies, I even liked, you know. But yeah, I remember that being like on another level as far as like werewolf movies. And I want to watch that movie like right now because I keep forgetting about it. Did it ever get re-released?
I think it did get remastered and re-released. I want to say maybe a few years ago and stuff. I do even think it's got like a box set. Keep in mind, this was created by Stephen King, a book from Stephen King called The Cycle of the Werewolf and stuff. So I don't know if they really like went hard with like really like re-releasing it. I don't know if they ever got another theatrical release just to commemorate, you know, an anniversary. But I know for a fact that they did digitally remaster it. And there was, I can't remember what year it was, but they got like a new box set for it to where there was like extra added features and stuff like that.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna have to look it up, man, because man, I really want to watch that movie. I keep, because I need some good like Wolfman movies in my life, man. And I just remember really enjoying that one. And I always say, man, I need to go back and rewatch that one, but I've never got my hands on it for some reason.
You know what? I'm making this happen. We're doing this week. You just let me know what the rest of your schedule for the week looks like after we get the second episode done, and this is happening.
Okay, all right, I'm down.
It's happening.
Hold on, I hate to pull a bearded.
Hey, you're good.
But did the Wolfman have nards?
Not that I recall, no. Well, I'll say this: in human form, yes, but not as the wolf.
Okay. They fall off, huh, during transformation.
I'm assuming so.
TMI, I get it. DJ says, Marcus, just like that transformation in Fright Night when evil turns back into human.
Yes.
Nice.
Great point, DJ. Absolutely, yes. Yes, definitely. To me, the special effects in Silver Bullet was way ahead of its time.
Yeah. I remember it being really well made. I remember that. So another one I need to rewatch is An American Werewolf in London. I have not seen that in years.
Me neither.
Man, we might have to do like a werewolf thing, like a
Like a
feature.
werewolf type, like a werewolf week, something like that.
Yeah, something. But yeah, man. Oh man, that's a good one. You know, I can see that shaping you as a horror film fan,
bro.
because that movie did hit us at a very young age, and having kids in the mix, I think, helps it a little bit, you know, because we can relate to it, you know, as kids. So, Corey Haim's such a great addition. Okay. I got one, and this is going to probably surprise. Well, it might not surprise you because you know me a little bit better than some others. My number 3 spot is, and you would think it would be a different sequel, but it's really this one. It's this one, and it's A Nightmare on Elm Street 4: The Dream Master.
Ooh.
Nightmare on Elm Street 4: The Dream Master was probably the first time I ever experienced Freddy Krueger. I was 5 years old, and some of y'all that have been friends of the channel for quite some time, you probably heard, you know, me talk about this. Ken Segos, the guy that's at the intro of all my videos that we're talking at the beginning, right before Jamie Kennedy. I even talked to him about it. That's why we say this whole line, is because he says a line in A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I was 5 years old, sitting on the couch. I remember this. It was the first time I ever got my ass whooped by my parents. And it shocked me. I was like, what did I do? I thought I did something really horrible. And sitting there, and I think my sister was in the back room playing the original Nintendo. And I think she actually rented this movie. But she went in my room to go play the Nintendo, and I came in the living room, and I'm just sitting there by myself, and I'm like, huh, who's this ugly son of a bitch? Talking about Freddy. And next thing you know, I see Ken Segos, Kincaid, one of the best characters of the entire Nightmare franchise. They killed him off way too soon. Pushes a car on top of Freddy and says, "Take that, motherfucker." and I repeated it, and I was like, "Take that, motherfucker!" 5 years old, and I was like, "Yeah, he defeated Freddy," you know. And my parents just like, "Hey, what are you watching in here? Who said you can watch this?" I don't think they like really spanked me, but I remember feeling like I was like really in trouble, and they probably like patted my butt or something and told me to turn it off or whatever. But I just remember being like, after that moment, I wanted more Freddy. I was like, why is it so bad? I need to go watch more. I need to go check out Freddy Krueger. And I was just addicted to Nightmare on Elm Street right after that, man. And honestly, like, I think 4 gets too much shit on. Like, I know it has some goofy elements, but if you really look at it as like a technical standpoint, it's really well made. And I know it's like the transition into like MTV Freddy and all that kind of stuff, you know, and watching it when you get older, like they resurrected Freddy by a dog pissing fire on him. Didn't really make a whole lot of sense. You know, there's a lot. It felt like maybe the director or writer never seen a Nightmare on Elm Street movie before, and he was just doing cool things. And this is really the one that he shows up and he acts like a carnival carny or something like that. Like, hey, if food don't kill you, the service will. Ha!
Yeah, right.
You know, and like a one-liner and then kill somebody or something, you know? And it's kind of like, all right, we got Goofy Freddy now.
Yeah,
and,
right.
But still, at a young age, I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as entertainment. I looked at it as like another movie that's really well paced. And honestly, I think it goes to show Rennie Harlin's directing. That was his first movie he ever directed in the States, was A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Then I think he did Die Hard 2 and some other stuff. He started going into the Cliffhanger and the action movies. Long Kiss Goodnight. But it just showed from that first movie that he did that on a technical level, he knew how to shoot a movie. The movie looked sharp. It looked clean. The visuals were pretty cool. They had some unique deaths. And honestly, I think the characters were likable in that movie. I think a lot of the characters are likable in it. So honestly, four definitely shaped me. It gave me my first ass whooping. So yeah, it shaped me. And it's what made me fall in love with Freddy. And then I went back and then I realized, all right, this is what Freddy is, and understood the franchise a little bit more and appreciated it more and everything as I got older. But yeah, I even told Ken, I was like, man, you know, you gave me my first ass whooping. He's like, man, don't be blaming me for your first ass whooping. It was funny as hell. We had a good talk. We had a really good talk. But yeah, that's my number 3 film of a horror film that shaped me is Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master.
Nice. I think that's a great choice, man. I think it gets more hate than it's warranted. It's not a bad film in my opinion. I actually enjoy it myself.
Yeah, I do too. Stella said Kincaid, Freddy's back. Freddy, yeah. I like that. I just hate it. And it's sad. He died like near the beginning. Him and Joey.
I'm right there with you. He should have never died.
Yeah, not like that.
Died. I love that character because you know how the new age kids say crash out today? Like that's their way of saying, you know, to me, he was the OG crash out. Like my boy wasn't playing none of this shit. He wasn't having it. He was ready to go to war with anybody and stuff. Yeah. And that's why you love that character, because for those people that was locked up with him, he was willing to sacrifice himself for all of them. Yeah,
he was ready to fight. He didn't want to run. He wanted to take it on.
What the hell with this? My boy was snapping, bro. Yeah. I love it. Fucking love it. I love that intro, that shout out that you got from him. I think that's so cool. Like, I would love to meet him myself. You know, I love the dialogue. You know, fuck you.
Yeah. Dude, I was like, man, that was funny as hell.
Hell yeah. Oh man.
That's how he is, man. Awesome. He's just cool and just, you know, he was one of the easiest people at the convention to talk to, really. Like he was really, really cool.
He seems like he's a fun time.
Yeah. And I think he's trying to get back into filmmaking and do some projects too. So yeah. Really good time. I love Nightmare 4. I'll always defend it.
Hell yeah, man. All right. So my number 3, and this might shock some of you guys, you know, but my number 3 horror movie that shaped me growing up. Cry, little sister. Some Lost Boys. I absolutely love this movie. This is my favorite vampire movie of all time, which is crazy because I do have Bram Stoker's Dracula right up there with it. But to me, The Lost Boys, for me, is the best vampire movie I've ever seen. It still holds its weight. I love the whole, you know, atmosphere of it, the location of it, you know, in California, if I'm not mistaken, or whatnot. I love the entire cast. Of course, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman as Edgar Fogg. You know, I do forget his partner's name or whatnot, but you had a young Kiefer Sutherland, a young fucking Jason Patrick. You know what I mean? Which you're starting to see him make a comeback in a lot of stuff, like a lot of projects and stuff, which I'm really, really happy to see that because I've always been a fan of his. I think he's a great actor and stuff. But this movie, man, it shaped me growing up because it just had this certain bravado to it. You know, there's certain cool, there's certain swagger to it. You know, when you see
good soundtrack too.
Awesome
soundtrack.
Yeah, like you know, you got Kiefer Sutherland with the blonde, spiked up mullet, and then you got Michael, you know, Jason Patrick's character, who's kind of like the cool swagoo pretty boy. You know what I mean? And stuff. And as a kid growing up, I wanted to be cool like them. You know what I mean? I'll be honest. You know what I mean? I'll be completely 100% honest. That their whole aura to me, and that's what makes that movie so great, is throughout the movie you feel this aura to it. Like it has that aura to it. It has coolness. It's hip. To me, it's one of the more hipper 80s movies that came out around that time. You know what I mean? Like to me, The Lost Boys would have done just as good in the 90s as it would have did in the late 80s when it came out. You know what I mean? If it was like in the center of like let's say 1995,
Yeah.
I still think it would be what it is today because it had that certain bravado and coolness that we weren't really used to seeing in horror movies at the time. You know what I mean? Even when you did get, vampire movies, it was pretty cut and dry. It's either Dracula or it's some other type of vampire entity that is really based on like biblical stuff, biblical, storytelling and all that stuff. This was the first like vampire movie that I ever saw where we didn't get any of the biblical stuff. We don't even know where they came from. These guys are just a group of guys, a group of kids who went missing for years, who got turned into vampires and stuff like that. And man, it's another movie that I could just pop on and just thoroughly enjoy. And Destin, you hit the nail on the head. That fucking soundtrack, bro.
Yeah,
bro,
made it,
bro. I'll be completely honest. I mean, sometimes, because I'm sure a lot of you guys do this. You'll listen to music while you're in the shower and stuff. I'll pop on Cry Little Sister. I don't care. That is my shit. I love it. Like every time I hear that, it just sets the tone and it makes me want to watch this movie.
Man, I've turned it on too. Like my TV in the front in the living room.
Yeah.
I have like an LG OLED TV, and the speakers on it has AI sound, and I'll turn on Cry Little Sister, and it'll do like that. You know how like it's like flying through the sky?
Yep.
It'll have that while it's playing, and my kids will come in there like, "Dad, what are you listening to?" I was like, "You don't even know. You don't even
You
know.
have no idea.
Like leave me alone. Give me my space. This is a vibe in here. Y'all fucking up the vibe. Go to bed."
This is from my time. This is from my era.
Right, man. Man, great pick. I mean, that's I'm telling you, Lost Boys is
Banger,
something,
bro.
man.
Love
something.
it.
And I do want to address Paula, I did see your list. I believe Paula had for me, the ones that had the most impact for me were the OG Ghostbusters.
Nice.
Scream. Got me more excited for horror movies was Buffy the Vampire Slayer and The First I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ooh, interesting. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the show or the movie? Because I do like the movie. I'm not gonna lie. I think the movie's a lot of fun. Have you seen the movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
And that's something I do want to visit.
Oh, dude, I gotta write that down. That's a fun watch. That's a fun watch, man, because you got David Arquette in there. You got Oh, dude, you got Pee Wee Herman in there. You got Rutger Hauer. You got Hilary Swank, one of her earliest roles, is in it. Kiefer Sutherland's dad, Donald Sutherland, is like a Van Helsing.
We gotta watch this.
I think her name's Christy Swanson.
I know who you're talking about.
Buffy.
Yeah. Yeah, because she was the chick in Big Daddy with Adam Sandler.
Yes, and she was in Chase, that movie Chase with.
That's right. Yep.
She was a hottie.
Hell yeah.
But dude, this movie, there's like Ben Affleck. There's like a really early like Ben Affleck in here.
Wow.
And he's even talked about this movie. He said, I didn't even know what I was doing. They just said, show up, go on the basketball court and say this line. They said my line delivery was so bad, they had to dub over it with somebody else's voice. That's not even my voice in the movie.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, dude, we got to watch the Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Pee Wee Herman as a vampire is hilarious, dude. It's just.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I hear Christy Swanson's name, all I can think of is Adam Sandler. What do you want, a father figure? Stop pulling your sister's hair.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a 5-year plan? Oh,
Yeah.
Maybe it's a 10-year plan. Perfect comeback. Yeah, Paul, let us know which Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I actually never watched the shows of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I know they were good. I just never got into them. When I was younger, I was dating a young lady that loved the show. She bought like every season when it came out, but I just never saw it. But I know that it was a big impact. So I've always been curious.
I think I watched the first 2 seasons and then I kind of fell out of it, but I enjoyed the TV shows as well, especially because they were on UPN. That's the old school CW when it was UPN and all that stuff. So, yeah, the shows, bro, check them out. You know what I mean? If you can, they're actually solid.
Okay. Yeah, I know they have like a big following and everything, man. So I know they have to have something special. They had a good cast and everything.
Yep.
So yeah. Great picks, Paula. Especially Scream. You already know how I feel about that one. Shannon's in the house. What's up, Shannon? At the cottage till Thursday, but stab the like button. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you're popping in and popping out on this first episode, please at least hit that like button. It's going to help the Horror Hooligans get more noticed out there, especially in replay mode. And also go subscribe right now over to I Shot Up 6 Times, Marcus's channel. Link is in the description here below. So you can get episode 2 Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. So yes, thank you for that, Shannon. And can't wait for you to come back from the cottage. And we got a watch party. We got to see Death Count. So that's already something in the works. We got to work out a schedule. But have some fun. You enjoy it. You deserve it. Stella says Jason Petrie is part of horror royalty legacy via his father. Who's his father? Remind me.
You don't make me look this up.
Is it Isaac Patrick? Maybe.
Yeah, I never even heard of his dad. Honestly,
I didn't know that. So he's got like a Jamie Lee Curtis kind of thing going on with her mom, and he's got a dad.
Right.
Cool. That's cool. Oh man, DJ, look, DJ, go DJ. Thou shalt not fall.
Yes.
Man, if I could not get a copyright, I would play that on my stream. Like that would just be lightly in my background as I'm streaming.
Hell yes, man.
That'd be awesome.
I'm listening to that before I go to bed tonight. I'm doing it. That is my jam. I love it.
Yeah. Jason Patrick and Kiefer are hot as hell. Kiefer being Donald Sutherland's son. That's what's weird too, is Kiefer Sutherland was a vampire in the Lost Boys, and Donald Sutherland was a vampire hunter in the Buffy Vampire Slayer movie. So yeah, just a fun little fact.
Oh wow. So I mean, I don't know what movies his dad plays in. I'll have to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
His dad's name is Jason Miller, and his maternal grandfather was none other than Jackie Gleason.
Which one was Jackie Gleason?
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, damn. Dude, I haven't seen those movies since my parents watched them whenever I was younger.
That's my shit, bro. Jackie Gleason was a classic, man.
Is that the sheriff?
Yes.
Okay.
Get home. He said something to his son. He's just like, I'm gonna punch your mama in the mouth. Or some shit like that. I'm just like, yo. Like, he was off the cuff. I love Jackie Gleason.
Okay, yeah. I got a buddy. He watches those movies all the time. He's like, you gotta watch Smokey and the Bandit. You gotta watch Smokey and the Bandit.
Yes,
I've seen them before. I guess I've just seen them so many times that it's just like background noise now.
Right.
You know, my parents watched them all the time. But yeah, Thou Shalt Not Fall is awesome.
That's right.
Okay. So, my number 2, we're going to move on to number 2. And it's funny that you said The Lost Boys because that's my number 2 spot.
Let's go.
Is The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys, man. I was like, damn, he beat me to it. I didn't even know that was going to be on your list, to be honest. But man, this movie, dude, we're beating this horse down. But this movie was such a it's like the Monster Squad. If you like the Monster Squad, if you like the Goonies, the Lost Boys is right there with it. It's got that fun factor to it, with some horror edge to it, with some really creative stuff, with some good practical effects, a good story, a great soundtrack. Dude, this movie, I love the Goonies. I freaking love the Goonies. But I think I would watch Lost Boys before the Goonies. I just think I would. I think this movie just it hit me at a very, like right time of my age to where I was like really getting into like horror and stuff. And then I caught this movie, and I remember seeing like the VHS tape, and it never resonated with me. Like I didn't even notice that like Corey Haim was on the poster, because it was like a black and white picture, and just they were standing there like they were like a rock band or something.
Yep.
And I didn't even know it was like a horror. So I just kept skipping over it. But then I caught it on like AMC or something, TNT, TV one day. And I was glued. And I was like, this movie is so awesome. And then I noticed the Coreys, Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. Love their work. I always watch it. Did you ever see License to Drive with them?
Yes.
Man, that's my jam, dude. Man, you don't fuck with the Department of Motor Vehicles. You can make your life a living hell. Excuse me. Popcorn in my throat.
Let's go.
Dude, that movie, honestly, I rewatched that not too long ago, and I was like, oh, there's some #MeToo would be all over this movie in some spots. Like, there's some stuff they do later on in the movie. I'm like, yeah, that's not good. That's not going to roll today. But like the drunk driver near the end that like takes off in the car, dude. Heather Graham, dude. Oh my goodness.
Bro.
Oh my goodness. Like, I think I fell in love. I think I did. And just them sneaking out in the car and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, this isn't about License to Drive. This is about the Lost Boys. I can't explain how inspired my script that I'm writing right now is from the Lost Boys and a few other movies, but I'm not trying to rip it off at all. I don't want it to feel like that, but that movie it shaped me, man. It was something that just like felt right. It's one of those movies that I could watch over and over and over. And it had a great cast. We wanted sequels for the longest, and it took too long to get them. And then the ones that we get are lackluster. They're really lackluster. Honestly, I give The Lost Boys 2 a little bit of slack because I think that there's moments of good shit in there. It just doesn't flow together right. Have you ever seen The Lost Boys 2?
Begrudgingly.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of like a cool idea. Oh, they're going to be surfers instead of, cyclists or where, like motorcycle guys. I was like, okay, that's kind of fitting. And then they had like Kiefer Sutherland's like little brother being the vampire and stuff like that. And I was like, I think on paper it seemed like it was going to be okay. I thought Corey Feldman was kind of overdoing it a little bit for his character. I was like, man, that didn't really fit. Not now. You needed to change that a little bit, more maturity. But it had a cool after credit scene where I'm not going to give away any spoilers if we ever do a watch party. But man, anyways, The Lost Boys, from the soundtrack, from the moment the movie opens up to the last scene of the movie, you're going to have fun. And it's like, it's one of those movies that's kind of got a lot of layers as well. It's just, man, honestly, it's like a perfect movie. It's even got a whodunit element to it.
Yeah.
And I love the whole setting up the traps for the vampires to bombard them and all that kind of stuff. Kiefer Sutherland sold it as the head or the vampire. I mean, dude, the back and forth between Jason Patrick and Kiefer Sutherland is some of the best ever.
It is.
It's and then them just having fun and hanging like underneath the train while it's going, like they were like really risk takers, and just the way they built it all the way up, man. Like, oh man, this movie is so good, and it's awful what happened behind the scenes with Corey Haim and stuff. If you ever watched the documentary, I was like, man, you're diminishing my vision of this movie. I hate it. I really, really hate that. But the movie is still good. And I think it's Joel Schumacher who directed this.
I believe so.
And I think he was like, he came out and did, what did he do? 8mm with Nicolas Cage. He did a lot of good stuff around that time. Like he was a really good filmmaker. And I think it showed in The Lost Boys. I think the movie's perfect. I love it. Everything about it, man. I love it. I can't talk about The Lost Boys enough. It's definitely on my list. It's one of my favorite
makes you
movies.
Look at Chinese food a little differently too.
I still eat the hell out of some Chinese food.
I do too, but I ain't gonna lie. Every time I'm about to dig into some shrimp fried rice, I can't help but think about that scene. And I'm just like, Fuck it.
Yeah.
It is.
You're eating worms, Michael. Oh,
Yeah.
the worm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, and that twist, that ending.
Yes.
Like you said, it had a whodunit element to it.
Yeah.
That twist at the end, chef's kiss.
Yeah. And it didn't have to do all that. But
No.
even like the fight where they're flying through the air, him and Michael, dude, that was cool. And then just like the music coming on whenever, you know, like someone gets killed and just like it's like time just slows down for a minute and you really hone in on what's going on screen. I love that, man. I loved it. The movie breathed. It didn't rush through stuff. It took its time and told a really good story. Man, it's perfect. The Lost Boys.
Might have had the best grandfather in history too.
Really cool grandfather. Really rules. We're gonna have some rules around here. Got a TV guy. Don't need no TV.
Yep. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, man. That's crazy, man. See, great minds think alike, man.
That's right.
King Matthew III says Eddie Murphy played a good vampire in Brooklyn as well. I enjoyed that film so much growing. Yes, it was very good. I went to theaters to see that Wes Craven movie. I might add. Really good movie. I would love to see a sequel to that. I would love to see Eddie. Eddie's coming back in movies. You know, he's got like a new Prom movie about to drop too, and I would think it'd be kind of fun to see. I don't know how they would do it, but you know, I think it'd be fun.
I would love to see another sequel to it. I will say, I would hope that if they were to do something and they're going to bring Eddie back, that he would be on the writing team, because remember, it was Eddie and his brother Charlie who wrote that movie.
Oh, that's right.
Charlie Murphy. Yep. Charlie and Eddie, they wrote that movie and they did a great job.
Wow. That's right, dude. I forgot about that. Yeah, they did a good job. They did a really good job. And when it had to get horror, it got horror. You're like, okay, here's Wes Craven right here. Yeah. Paula said Jason Patrick Kiefer. Oh, we already did that one. Sorry, it jumped on me. DJ says Boys Don't Cry with Hilary Swank, based on a true story. Yeah, I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about. I've never seen it though.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
Yeah, Luke Perry is also in Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
That's right, he was. I did hear something about that. Yeah,
he's like the main dude. Yes. All right. Only watched Buffy the Vampire show, but I may see the movie as well. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Father Karras. Yeah. His dad is Father Karras from The Exorcist. Nice.
That's right. That's where I knew that fucking name from. Oh my God. Wow. I just couldn't tell by the picture I saw because he looked younger than he did in The Exorcist. Holy hell. That is right. Wow.
That's Patrick. That's Jason Patrick's dad.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Wow. That's crazy.
Keeping it hard. Man. Oh, that's a good name for a channel. Keeping it hard.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. Thank you for the education class, Stella G. I appreciate that, because I did not know that Jason Miller was Jason Patrick's dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
King Matthew said, I've never seen Smokey and the Bandit either. It's a good watch. It's funny. It's funny.
It's my shit.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Old school Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. Huh. What Adam Sandler say in Happy Gilmore? Whoa, must be Burt Reynolds or something.
Yup.
Hell yeah. King Matthew III says, my number 2 pick is Scream 2, in my opinion. Scream 2 had a better opening than Scream 1. Whoa. I love how they had a Ghostface kill in public for the first time. Interesting. Okay. Nice. I like them both, but I still prefer that first one. I think there's something about that first one that just felt at home. I don't know. But yeah, they're both good, man. But yeah. Lost Boys has some classic one-liners. I think this jumped on me again.
I think so too.
Yeah, man, get some rest. We're about to do our number ones, and then we're going to call it a stream. We're not going to do a long stream tonight, but just a reminder, everybody, go subscribe to Marcus over at I Shot Him 6 Times. Link is down in the description of this video to get episode 2 on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. So yes, go check him out. Link is down below. But yeah, get some rest, man. I kind of got a headache tonight too. I'm a little tired. I think I'm gonna get some good rest tonight. Too many spoilers for those that haven't seen it. Dominama Ding Dong says, "Can't wait for a live watch party with the Woodsboro Cinema Club on Marcus's channel coming up." Hell yeah, hell yeah. I gotta send that. Did I send that what Stella made over to you?
I think you did.
Horror
Yes,
Queen.
you did.
Horror
No, you
Queen.
did. Yes, you did.
Yeah. Horror Queen made it. That's right. Horror Queen made it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can add that. So we can all have it all together.
Yes.
Yeah, because we are a community. We're hooligans and we're the cinema club.
That's right.
Paula says Jason Patrick and Kiefer Sutherland.
This
Damn, you
jumped
put it in
on
here
you
again. No, I think she put it in here again.
Oh.
I think it was 2 or 3 times, maybe. I don't know.
It's not useless info.
Yeah. Stella G says, I just have a bunch of useless info in my head. Sometimes it comes in handy. Yeah, it's like an IMDb up here, Stella. I don't know how my brain works. A lot of people's like, man, how do you remember that? How do you know those actors and those directors of those movies from way back when? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, okay. We are going to get to our number 1.
I still got to get to my number 2.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry.
That's cool. I'll make this fast.
Go ahead.
My number 2. And this may come as a shock to you guys because you guys know that Scream is my second favorite franchise overall. But before Scream, there was Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th definitely shaped my childhood. That franchise, all of them.
Okay.
Like, I'm talking about through as a whole franchise, like leading up as I was a kid. That entire franchise was a household staple in my home. Constant Jason movies, just as much as Halloween was.
Yeah.
Love Jason. I love the whole aspect of, being in a campground. You know what I mean? You got, the cabins. You got this whole, aura to it to where it kind of feels desolate. You got the woods, you know what I mean, and stuff. And then you got this. Well, first, I'd be remiss to not mention his mother. Pamela Voorhees, to me, the greatest mom killer of all time. That's me. You know what I mean? I thought that she was great. I loved seeing her in the original, she going on her spew. I thought she was very intimidating, and stuff like that. I mean, homegirl was trying to throw shit at her. My girl's just smiling, blocking the shit off, like swatting shit away. You know what I mean? But then, of course, in the second movie, we get Jason, the arrival of Jason, and that fucking knapsack. It reminds me of The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which we're going to be watching here very shortly.
That's
but
right.
I remember seeing that and him in his overalls and everything. And I'm just like, man, this Jason is kind of scary. And then we transition into the hockey mask. And that, to me, took it to another level. Because I'm just like, man, not only is he fearsome and intimidating, but he looks cool. You know what I mean? Like that hockey mask just took it to a whole nother level. My favorite one, Jason Lives Part 6, because much like you, Destin, I almost caught an ass whooping for a certain line. But my cousin saved me. Thank you, Cousin Bert. So I will tell this story and then we'll move on to our number ones. So I remember when Jason Lives came out or whatever. So, well, it came out in '88, if I'm not mistaken. So basically when I got around to watching it, I was like binge watching it like all the time and stuff. And I picked up on the line where Tommy's luring Jason out to the lake. Come on, maggot face. Come on, you pussy. Or whatever. So I would say this every time my mom wasn't around. But it would only be when she wasn't around because I'm afraid I would get my ass kicked. Yeah. So I remember one day me, my cousin, my mom are watching it. And my cousin Bert, he loves to instigate shit. So the part's coming up. And we're sitting there watching, and I kind of like look at him because he knows I want to say it. So then he's just like, yo, cuz, go ahead, say your part, cuz. Go ahead. So my mom heard about it. So she looks over at me. She's like, "You better not say it, Marcus." And I'm just like going back between the both. He's like, "Go ahead, cuz." She's like, "You better not." So I'm just like, so then the part comes up and I'm just like, "Come on, maggot face. Come on, you pussy." And I start running and my cousin's like, "Run, cuz, I got her, cuz." And it's not like hell on to her so I can run in my room and lock the door. Great times like that is why I will always hold Friday the 13th, specifically that movie, Jason Lives, dear to my heart. You know what I mean? Because I thought they had some of the best kills in the franchise in that movie. I thought Jason was super, super intimidating. Motherfucker was folding people in half like accordions. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just the overall fun element of Friday the 13th really, really shaped my childhood. It's welcome in my household anytime.
Yeah. Man. Dude. That's okay. So it was, I promise you, I wanted, because Friday the 13th really did pretty much shape my mind too, but it kind of got knocked out from some of these other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But it was there, you know, like Halloween and Friday the 13th were staples for me. Like they just were. But I don't think that they were the ones that like shaped me into a horror person. But I remember having the most fun because they would have it on like a replay, like a marathon of Friday the 13th, and you could just watch one after the other. Still to today, it's hard to remember which one is what for me for Friday the 13th. That's why I want to like rewatch those movies in order, so I can be like, okay, this was this one was this one, because I jumped around all over that franchise whenever I was younger. Like, and I love it. I mean, I think they're a staple in horror. I mean, they're not going away. They're always going to resurface. Jason's always going to come back out of that lake and start chopping some heads off.
One of the first horror movie franchises to focus on the final guy. You know, Tommy Jarvis, one of the best, male and female protagonists in all horror history, if you ask me, especially with 4. Die! Tommy, get the hell out of here! Die! He's just cracking Jason with the fucking machete like, oh, great memories. I feel like I'm a kid all over again.
That's something that the Friday the 13th movies do. I feel like a kid again when I watch them. I'm like, this is Taco Bell.
Yep.
Good shit. I'm just gonna throw some good shit in my face and just enjoy it. Like that's what Friday the 13th is, man.
Fucking penny candy. For me, it was penny candy, pizza, and horror movies. Because fortunately, where we lived here in York, right on the corner was literally a movie rental spot that had a pizza shop attached to it, and then right across the way was a penny candy store.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Nice.
So every weekend, my mom would get paid. This is before my sister was born and stole my thunder. God love you, sister. But before my sister was born. Every week, it was a theme with my mom. My mom would come home off work. Hey, buddy, so what do you want to do today? I want some pizza, I want some penny candy, and I want to watch scary movies, mommy. Let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, man. We need a rewind. We need a click remote, bro.
That's how they need to bring back the movie rental places is put it in with the pizzeria. Put a Papa John's or a Domino's in with the movie store. So you get a dinner and a movie, type of thing. That's how they were like really advertising back then, like,
yes,
like they need to do that. They need to just put it all in the one spot, because a lot of these walk-in places, they're just takeout spots now. They're not really dine in. So you could plug that in on that side of the wall and then the rest of the place be a rental. While your pizza's being made, you can go get your nostalgic fix, So there's got to be a and then have the movie theaters attached too. Like I want it all in one spot.
Hell yes.
I would call my movie theater the big screen, and then in the lobby I would have like a section off where it's a movie rental place, and I call it the little screen.
That's actually a great idea, honestly. Like that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That's what I would do. If I get rich one day, I'm opening me up a movie theater. I'm gonna try to start a franchise.
Man. Hell yeah.
Okay, we are about an hour and 20 minutes almost into this, and we are going to be wrapping up after number one. I hope y'all did enjoy Horror Hooligans. This is the first episode, many more to come. Again, second episode is going to be over on Marcus's channel. His channel, the link of it is down in the description below. Please smash that like button
right now as well.
Awesome. As you do that, I will give my number one spot. And not trying to be biased here, I really thought about it. I really thought about it. And I just could not say that this didn't shape me. Even though I was already a horror fan, this movie made me a horror fan even more. And that's none other than 1996, Wes Craven's Scream. Scream was everything to me. When I watched Scream, it's like the movie spoke to me. I was like, this movie gets me. This is a horror movie for horror fans. And that's what I was. That was me leading up to like knowing. And then also having Wes Craven in there, you know, giving an homage to Freddy Krueger. I was like, oh, I know that because I was already a Freddy Krueger fan. And I loved it, you know, all the little Easter eggs and stuff. And then the great characters, the great setting, great soundtrack again. The great writing, the twist, the chase scenes. Everything about the movie was like perfect in my eyes. It was literally the movie that I could watch over and over and over, and I did. I saw that movie so many times in the movie theater. I'm telling you, I would be at the movie theaters every weekend, and a lot of us kids would get dropped off, and we'd hang out at the arcade, and we'd watch movies. Everybody'd be going to watch Spice World or some bullshit. I'm like, I'm not going in there as much as I got a crush on, Posh Spice or whatever. I'm not going. I'm going over here, and I'd sneak off, and I'd go and sneak into Scream all the time. I would leave all my friends. I'm like, no, I'm not going to watch She's All That or whatever the hell was coming out around that time. I'm going to watch the horror movie. And so I saw Scream, like I said, so many times. I was trying to bring it to people's attention. They were, like kids at that age, they weren't like big into horror at that time. And then I had my sister's boyfriend, Chris. He used to work at the video store that I used to go to. And he was the coolest because he would give me like free movies all the time. And then also he'd go to a place where he'd get screeners, like movies before they come out, but it would have like a banner at the bottom like this does right here. Just saying it's copied for whatever studio, all that stuff. And he was able to get his hands on Scream. And this movie was still in theaters because Scream was a movie that when it initially came out, it didn't do that much on its opening weekend. But word of mouth made it grow. So it's like it left the theater, but then it came back to the theater because people were wanting to see it. It was like a phenomenon. It was like, it was the word about mouth movie that everybody wanted to see because, Drew Barrymore and then, what's so shocking about this movie and all this kind of stuff. It just, it revitalized the slasher genre. And I thank it for it because it could have just drifted away. And still to today, it's helping keep it afloat with really good sequels. Some are better than others, but they're still quality and they're not stopping. And that just goes to show that I think Scream's going to be one of those movies that never dies. I think it can always adapt to new commentary or whatever's going on in the world, new characters. I just think that Scream is it's like Halloween. It's never going to die. It's how big it is, And I think another thing is, it's like Scream was the first time it was like, oh, horror fans are the killers in this one. It's not some big boogeyman. It's not a big monster. It's not just a psychopath that escaped from an insane asylum. This is your best friend. This is your someone, and it made you kind of look at people differently. It's kind of like, oh, is one of my friends? Am I that guy? And then with Randy, man, like Randy was, was the spitting image of me, of how I thought and everything, explaining horror movies to people, why you should watch this. I was the guy making my parents watch a horror movie or making my new girlfriend watch it or a group of friends. And I'm just like, no, you're going to miss the best part. No, watch. And, you know, I was just that guy. And so Scream just spoke to me on a lot of different levels. And it's a masterpiece, in my opinion. It's a masterpiece. I love it. The Lost Boys and Scream are two of the movies that I could watch over and over and over. They're two of my favorites. So, yes, Scream is my number one pick.
Nice, man. I mean, of course, it's not a bad pick at all. How can you go wrong with it? You know, like you said, it reinvigorated horror. But my number one pick, and then like Destin said, you know, not trying to be biased, but it's just kind of hard not to have it. You know what I mean? Because it did play such a big role in my development in horror. It's none other than the horror movie that, in my opinion, really took the slasher craze to the next level, Halloween. You know, what John Carpenter did with that movie in regards to like the cinematography, but also the opening. You know, we talk a lot about Scream's opening. How about that opening with Michael? Now, one, we don't know if it's Michael. We just know it's somebody putting on a mask.
Right.
Up until we see somebody go in the house, you can see the hand looks like a young person, you know, but then you really get that shock, you know, value after he kills his sister and his parents pull off the mask and you see how young he is. Like, he's a little kid. He's not like a teenager. He's a 6-year-old boy. Right. You know what I mean? And stuff. And just every element of what the boogeyman is supposed to be, especially on Halloween night, John Carpenter created a legend with this character in Michael Myers. You know, because he is obviously an evil entity that takes shape in the form of a human vessel, but he's not particularly human. We don't know what he is, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about that character, is because it leaves it open for interpretation from the audience for you to make up your own mind what you think Michael Myers is. You know, you had a young Jamie Lee Curtis who was great as Laurie Strode as a final girl, though I will say, when I go back and, you know, rewatch movies like Scream and stuff like that, I do wish Laurie had more of a Sidney Prescott element to her. You know, I feel like Sidney's way more of a badass. Laurie was more of that, you know, girl next door type of deal, stuff like that. But Jamie did a great job. And also, you had the other two, you know, PJ Souls and fucking, God, I always forget her name, but the woman who played Annie. You know, the casting was great. Like, everything's felt Midwestern, small town. You know what I mean?
Real. It felt real.
There you go. Very euphoric, but yet very, very real. Yes. Yeah. And stuff. And then, you know, get to Halloween night where we see, you know, Tommy Doyle looking at that window and you see that blue lighting, that cinematography, and you just see the shape in the shadows just standing there watching. Like, everything about Halloween shaped how I kind of looked at Halloween as a kid. Yes, we go out and we get candy, but you never know what psychos are out there. You know what I mean? And so anybody who dresses up in a costume could turn out to be a fucking psycho killer. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why I love that movie, though, is because though it does kind of makes you feel uneasy, it still keeps you in the spirit of Halloween. You know, it still makes you want to go outside and venture and see what is out there and get a bunch of candy and, you know, hang out with the ghoulies and stuff like that. Man, I could go on and on, but I'm not. But this movie is my number one in regards to what shaped me as a horror fan. How ironic, right? You know what I mean? And stuff, but it has everything for me. You know what I mean? It has the feel, it has the look, it has the killer, the slow, methodical. You know what I mean? I've always loved killers like that. Don't get me wrong. I love my aggressive mofos like Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw 2003. But there is something about a killer that is so methodical in their approach and so slow, but some way they still find a way to catch you and kill you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that is just super creepy and super terrifying. And that's why Halloween 1978 is my number one pick for the horror movie that shaped me as a kid growing up.
Man, that's great, man. I mean, honestly, it has to be, right? It has to be because you have your own YouTube channel that is pretty much the driving force of you wanting to create your YouTube channel. I shot him 6 times is from Halloween, Dr. Loomis, all that stuff.
Yep.
It speaks through your art already. Same with me. Scream is like really what built my channel. This is the reason why I went in this direction, and it's just like this is my I don't want to say guilty pleasure because that could be considered something else, but this is what really shaped me as a horror fan. And this movie Scream just upped that ante. And also Halloween, man. Halloween, it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It really is. Halloween 2 is really the one that really shaped me, and it was just barely knocked out. I had struggled with Halloween 2, even though it's not the best one. It's the one that I remember watching the most when I was a kid, and it's what shaped me into a Halloween fan. And then later on, I appreciated the other movies, especially the original. So it's kind of like that Nightmare on Elm Street 4 thing, man. Like it's not the best sequel, but it is the one that I recall that helped shape me into the horror fan that I am. So yeah,
Halloween 2 is awesome. I don't care what anybody says. I love that movie as well. But I do want to add this in real quick because you made a great point. You know, obviously my channel is inspired by something you heard in Halloween, Dr. Loomis. And I'd be remiss to say, and this is just my opinion, some of you may disagree. Another reason why I love this movie and why it shaped me as a horror fan is because, in my opinion, you had the greatest final guy in the entire horror genre in Dr. Loomis. And why I believe that is because before we really see Michael Myers do anything, we hear about the entity and this destructive force that he is from Dr. Loomis. He was the narrator of the beast that we would know to come as Michael Myers. And in my opinion, you will not find another male character that had the impact over a franchise the way that Dr. Loomis's character did.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, man. That he owns it. It's going to be hard to fill those shoes.
It really is, man.
Dr. Loomis is an icon.
Yes,
it just is. Oliver said,
"Presence, bro."
I know, man. It's just so. But we got these movies, man. That's what's great about them. It's just like that's the thing. It's so hard to fill those shoes because you really don't want anybody else to fill those shoes. It's
right.
Like it was perfect. It was perfect then, and it's hard to take that away. You'll never live up to it, you know.
Right.
Oliver says, I think I need to start a YouTube channel, and my catchphrase would be something that was said in my favorite franchise. Don't trust the person who saves you.
Oh, I like that. It's different.
What's that from?
I want to say Saul, but I don't think I can't remember if I did hear that in Saul. But I know how much Oliver loves Saul, so that's why I'm guessing.
That's what I'm thinking too. Is it Saul? Or one of the Saw sequels? I don't remember it being in the first one. I don't know. You puzzled me.
But definitely go for it, Oliver. Why not?
Yeah. Let's do it. You want to start a YouTube channel? Do it, man. We're here to support you.
Yeah, you know that.
We'll help you. You can always reach out if you need any help on creating something or whatever. So yeah. Dr. Loomis is the horror version of Batman.
Ooh, I like that. I like that, Dom. I like that, Dom. Hell yeah.
Dom, da, dom, dom, dom. Hell yeah. Yeah, Paula. Oliver said Saw 5. Amanda says that to the young girl. Oh.
Right. Oh my goodness. That is so right. That is so. I totally forgot about that part.
Oh wait, it's Saw 6.
Either one, I forgot. Back to me.
Oh, I think you were cutting out. I don't know if it was me. Are you froze? Uh-oh. Oh, there. You good? I think so.
It started tweaking out on my end. Like you cut out for a second, then I cut out. I don't know what the hell happened.
I don't know either. It's right here at the end of the episode. So, yeah. Thank y'all so much for being here for this first episode. We really, appreciate the support, and we hope that y'all like this kind of thing. It's going to be a different episode, different topic every single episode. So yes, I know I've already said it so many times, and the link is in the comment section and in the description of this video. But for episode 2, you got to be subscribed to I Shot Him 6 Times. Link is down in the description below. Also, the link for episode 2 is down in the description below and in the comment section. So hit that bell notification so you'll be notified every time we upload a video, an episode. Every Monday, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see y'all back. I hope you enjoyed this. And if there's some other, topics or anything that y'all want to talk about, we talk about Saw and Halloween all the time and everything in between. And that's what we're doing here. We're talking about the in-between. So we want to hear from you guys. What are your favorite horror movies? And, bring some juice to the table. Bring some horror movies because y'all have already named off a few tonight that I've never even heard of or seen. So that's what this is about. So hooligans, keep on hooliganing. How you say that? I can't say it right. I'll come up with something. But we do love your faces, and we appreciate y'all. But we are going to call it a night. We're going to end the stream here. I got to get to bed. And episode 2, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
This channel. Go click the link below. All right. We love your faces, and we see y'all when we see y'all. We will be right back.
I'll be right back.